Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast designed to analyze the games that we love, headlines of music, and the movies we can't forget. I'm your host, Wenzel Burns, on my counterpart, Savon Morris. How's it going, man?
It shows colder and colder, bro. What's going
Every
on,
week,
man?
you're just like, man, how did he do it? How does he do it?
It's cold, bro. How's everything, brother?
Going good, man. Ready to get into a lot of topics as always. And for this episode, obviously, the NBA free agency trade requests are going up, album reviews, and then the second half, we're going to do a review of Ray. To start off with Damian Lillard's trade request and where he might end up. Over this past weekend, Lillard made this announcement official after spending the first 11 seasons of his career with the team. The Heat, Clippers, and 76ers are the three teams that have expressed interest in acquiring him. But Miami is the only team he prefers to go to. And whenever I hear a player say there's only one team I prefer to go to, I'm like, it's going to be a long road for you, because no player gets what they want unless they are just like the top tier, like A-lister, and just can demand something, because the owners, the general managers, they're going to have the leverage in the trade. Even if he does get to a contender, it's not guaranteed he's going to get to go where he wants to. Like, what did you think about this trade request and how the process might look for him?
It's about time. But thinking about the next step in this journey, I don't think he's gonna like where things are gonna head. And I don't. He's definitely gonna end up in Miami, because Miami doesn't have anything to give. It'll be different if he was a free agent and he was able to choose and pick where he wanted to go, and figure out his contract. But you have to be traded. The only couple spots that make sense, and now it looks better for them, is the Celtics. I think number one has to be the Celtics. They have the pieces to get rid of. Jaylen Brown did not show up in the East, the conference finals last year. Well, this year, sorry, and he didn't look like he was needed to be there. I don't know why they got rid of Marcus Smart instead, but I think if they wanted to deal him away, I think that'll be a good exchange with probably another pick or something to get Damian Lillard. I think it's a perfect situation for him. I think he'll gel well with Jason Tatum. He's another guy who can take the edge off for him if Jason doesn't want to be the guy and take the big shots. Damian Lillard has shown over and over
Lillard has
he can
no
be
problem
the big time
taking over for the big
at
shots.
all. At all. It's Dame time, right?
It's Dame time.
What do you say? It's Dame time. It's Dame time. So that makes sense. And obviously you have the Clippers, I thought was number 2 as well. But what makes sense and where I think he'll fit well, it has to be the Celtics. There's another possible way. They just got Christopher, and I'm not going to say his name.
We were just talking about that.
But no, I think Celtics would be a good situation for them. They're a lot of history. They make it to the conference finals each year. They fall short, or they go make a run in the playoffs. And I think that's what he's been missing. He hasn't got that. He hasn't got that feel. So I think he would definitely gel well with being with the Celtics, and they have the pieces to go get him.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, from Boston's perspective, they have, like you said, every year they kind of get to that point of just being like, hey, we're in that mode of competing. We can get to the conference finals. We can even get to the finals, but not finish the deal. Do you think it's one of those things where, particularly this season, they wanted to see? I know Tatum is going to always be the focal point, but do you think they really wanted to see what Jaylen Brown was going to do? Because in that Game 7 against Miami, he really dropped the ball in terms of just really showing that, hey, Tatum's not having a good game. He had an injury first play of the game. Now I have to be that guy, and he was not that at all for them.
He was non-existent, and I think coming from a general manager standpoint, you're looking at all the pieces that you have on your organization, and you look who is expendable. Yeah. Who am I not going to get rid of, and who can I get rid of? And I think Jaylen Brown got on the chopping block after this playoff run, because, like you said, when Jason Tatum got injured the first play, he was still trying to do the things he normally does, but Jaylen Brown had the opportunity to show his stock, and I think his stock went down with the Celtics, but I think it could be picked up from another team and organization. And I think, again, at a general manager standpoint, I can deal him away with a peace of mind, because he has not shown me that his stock is enough to stay here in this well-oiled machine. We see they got rid of Marcus Smart without hesitation. He's one of the best defensive players and one of the best people on the basketball team and one of the leaders, and they got rid of him, no hesitation. So I think you deal away Jaylen Brown.
They're gonna
They're
make
gonna make
moves.
moves because you look at they got rid of Marcus Smart, and Derek White is a good basketball player, but he's not a true point guard. They need a true point guard. Damian Lillard can fill that spot, and then they won't have to give that much away to attain him. So it just
Right.
it looks better if he goes to the Celtics and they have the opportunity to get him.
Yeah.
So go get him,
Go do
please.
it. It's your
To get
time.
over the hump. That's the get over the hump guy.
That's the
That's
move.
who you need. That's the
That is
move.
that is the move. And now transitioning to Kyrie staying in Dallas. He's agreed to a 3-year, $126 million deal, return to the Mavericks. And the Mavs governor Mark Cuban and general manager Nico Harrison said before the offseason that re-signing Irving was the franchise's top offseason priority. And Kyrie, he knew, I think at a certain point, hey, teams, there's that report of him meeting with the Suns. No team can pick him up. He had to stay with Dallas. Like, it was getting to that point of just like the Lakers, they were making moves with just bringing
Yeah.
back their young core. They with all the moves that they were making, they showed, hey, we have the intentionality of just staying young and trying to build
Yes.
around LeBron and AD. We're not trying to go after the big three.
No.
That was really the nail in the coffin when the Lakers did that. Like, what did you think about Kyrie staying in Dallas, and also what Luka has to do to kind of like, obviously Kyrie's going to be the same player that he is. He's a phenomenal offensive talent, but defensively, that's where it's going to be very predictable at times.
I'm going to say this: the big three, epidemic is going to come to a halt here shortly, because to be able to get the big three, you have to sacrifice a lot of other supporting cast pieces. You're not going to be able to have an extended bench. So with that being said, I think that's what the Lakers thought about. Like, hey, LeBron is in his later years. Kyrie Irving has a timestamp. He's getting to that age, basketball age. Now we have to get these young guys and retain them. That's why you go keep Austin Reeves and get some other little short pieces of Cam Reddish and all that stuff. But I think Kyrie staying in there, I think that shows a lot of a growth as a basketball player, because there was a lot of things shadowing him last year. Now you could just play basketball. Just play basketball. Try to figure out how to play with Luka. They still have a couple pieces to figure out with the power forward and center position. Yeah. So they have a lot of things they need to do. Yes, Kyrie Irving's checked off the box. Checked off the board. But now you have to go get a decent power forward in a center. I think they should try to trade for DeAndre Ayton. I think he would fit well with those three guys. Yeah. They have enough money to go get him. They have enough, supporting cast bench players to get them over the hump. I think you need a solidified point power forward or a center. You got Kyrie Irving, you got Luka, you need another guy. I think Aiden is one of those guys. Yes, he has a huge contract. He just got the big contract, and being able to do that. But I think they have enough cap space to be able to do it, because they need it, because they don't have a starting power forward or center right now.
Right, and that's the thing. It's the It's the reality of like, okay, you got Kyrie, you re-signed Kyrie, now you got to fill out the roster. You got to do like just the basic offseason things to like actually make this team like complete and whole. In terms of the fact that Luka, he had that type of the type of year where they don't get into the play-in. They are really in terms of just shortcomings. They have big leads, but they can't close out games. Like, what do you think has to change for them next year to like be that team that can build those big leads, but actually like find a way to close games and continue like to climb up the ranks in the West?
This is starting being like a reoccurring thing. I say we talked about this. We talked about this. The two biggest woes they had last year was free throw shooting was number one. They had a terrible percentage from the free throw. You change that, you change the flow of the game, you get those easy points, and you get that the extraness, I would say, when it comes to the basketball game. Because if you make your free throws, you're gonna win. How many ball games we've seen that people, win with their free throws? So that was the big in their perimeter. No, their defense. They didn't have any good wing defenders.
Not getting enough stops.
No, and they conducted this team off of 3-point shooting. Right. The Dallas Mavericks was conducted to be a 3-point shooting machine, but they forgot to make their free throws, and they forgot to be wing defenders.
Yeah.
So now you have to fix those two problems. That's why they couldn't close, and that's why they couldn't get over the hump. And then you go get Kyrie late, then you re-sign him. Now you re-sign Kyrie Irving. Now you got to deal with Luka next year, or I think in 2 years his contract is going to be up. So now you got to figure out if he's going to stay.
That's going to be the biggest crossroad.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Is Kyrie signing enough to keep Luka there? And do you have enough supporting cast players who can wing defend and also make their free throws? And
Yeah.
that, I mean, if you change those two things, they're a top 500 team. They were
Oh yeah.
right above it. They won 38 games, lost 44, 38 and 44. They just that's what they need to get over the hump. Make their free throws, be better wing defenders, and make sure Luka is happy.
A lot of things to do. Hey, you just got to make sure Luca is happy. We know how that goes with superstars being disgruntled.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because we know Kyrie can't lead a team, and
Mm-mm.
just call a spade a spade. If
Yeah,
Luka leaves in 2 years and Kyrie's still there, 'cause I think he had a 3-year contract,
right.
then I don't think your team is as good as it would be with Luka on there. And I'll give Luka his flowers.
It's
Luka is
flowers
the heart and soul of that basketball team.
for sure. And now transitioning to Fred VanVleet's massive new contract and the signing with the Rockets. They agreed on a 3-year, $130 million contract with Houston. And this was the first max contract of this free agency period, and also the largest for any undrafted player in NBA history. And it's interesting because Fred VanVleet has always been, one of the toughest guard for the Raptors. Kind of very consistent in terms of just leadership. Can be a streaky shooter at times, but when he's on, like he's really on it. And this is interesting because like the trajectory of his career, obviously being an undrafted player, being doubted at times, but like he always says, like the bet on yourself. Like he's used that motto
Right.
for so long, and it really paid off here. Like, what did you think about him, this signing for him, and also him going to a Rockets team that is they have been verbal about wanting to stay away from James Harden, not wanting to go back to that route, and just like build up a young team and just rebuild the core. Like what are your initial takeaways?
You know, at first I was like, not at first. He's not worth that contract, to be completely honest with you. I don't think Fred VanVleet is worth that contract, averaging 19 points a game. His 3-point percentage has declined
It has.
since he's been known in the league and then winning the NBA championship. He has declined a lot as a basketball player. And I think Houston has been listening to Drake talking about I got money to blow because they've been blowing. Then you go, we're not talking about Houston. We're talking about Fred VanVleet because they are the biggest L takers in this free agency. I don't understand what they were thinking. But anywho, Fred VanVleet has declined. I think the only biggest thing he brings to the table is free throw percentage. And last year, another team who was worst, who was terrible at their
Yeah.
free throw percentage was the Houston Rockets. They had a young team, young and dumb. They didn't have any direction. They're just
Right.
flowing, going, just playing basketball. And I think he brings that element. But if he's declining his 3-point shooting, that's what he's known for. And he's only averaging 19 points a game. Why is he worth that contract? Why give him that? I didn't understand the move. I didn't understand this move. I didn't understand him going and get dude with 2 braids, light skinned dude with a big forehead. I didn't understand that either. And they gave him a crazy contract too, like he was him. And man, I can't even tell you what he averaged.
Me either.
They're the
That's just
biggest
that
L
Rich Paul
takers.
business savvy. That's just that Rich Paul business. He got Draymond security. He got Fred VanVleet. Rich Paul is he's just having an amazing summer. He's like, if you
Is.
are working with Rich Paul, you are going to get the best.
You're not worth it, but you're gonna get it. I'll
You're
tell
going
you
to get
that.
it. He's like, hey, you're not worth this, but I'm going to make sure you get it.
I'm gonna make sure you get it for what you did 5 years ago, brother. I got you. Potential. I got you. But nah, I just understand that move. Fred VanVleet has declined the past 5 years, and he's not a leader. He wasn't a leader with the Toronto Raptors. He's not going to be a leader for these young guys in Houston. They're going to look at him like, bro, you got that contract? You're not even that. You're not even like that, bro.
But I mean, Draymond resigned. I know the Warriors want. Steve Kerr said, "Hey, if we don't bring back Draymond, we're not a championship contender." And that was their offseason has been extremely interesting. Their offseason has been extremely interesting
Yes.
because like we said, bringing on Chris
Yes.
Paul, that was not what we would have predicted.
No.
But like, what do you think about like this team in terms of Golden State? Like they're obviously kind of in that older phase of their run, but they did want to keep the core of Steph, Clay, and Draymond together. Kaminga, obviously, Kevon Looney, but they also know that there's more pieces that they got to get before the offseason's over.
I think they're gearing up to play small ball.
Yeah,
And
there's
there's a lot of
throwback.
stuff circulating. Obviously, they don't have a guy over 6'9", uh, which is extremely interesting. And I think they're gearing up to play a lot of small ball. And I think that's obviously what the league has gone to. There was no power forward or center taken in the draft in the top, I think it
Yeah,
was top 20 or top 30. So I think they're gearing up to see the Warriors are so good at looking at what's coming next.
they're
What's
forward
what
thinking. They're forward
Yeah,
thinking.
forward thinking. Where's the league going? Okay, we're gonna play small ball. There's no solidified big man in the league anymore. I don't consider Joel Embiid
That
a
era
big
is
man.
over.
That area is extremely low. They're versatile. They're versatile fours and fives. They can literally play threes as well. I think small forward should just go away. I don't know what that is anymore,
Yeah,
but I
what is
think
the
they're
definition of that anymore?
because most of these guys ain't small. Like I don't. I guess I don't understand the terminology of
Yeah,
basketball half the time, but man, I just looking at what they're doing, bringing Draymond back, I thought it was a good idea. Not for that huge of a contract, Rich Paul. Okay, with Rich Paul effect, I don't think he deserves that big of a contract, but I
Rich
do
Paul
think
effect.
he's I do think he's vital when it comes to facilitating, but then you're going to take that facilitation away with having Chris Paul. Is Chris Paul going to come off the bench? Is Draymond going to come off the bench? I think not. So now you got to figure out, you're going to have Steph Curry, who's a true point guard. You have Chris Paul, who's a true point guard. You have Draymond, who thinks he's a point guard. So you got all these guys who needs the ball in their hands.
Might be a mess.
Draymond, yeah, Draymond will have to change his role. He's
Yeah,
going to understand. He's going to have to be the rebounder guy. He's going to have to be the enforcer. You can't facilitate anymore. You can't bring the ball up the court anymore. We got Chris for that. We got Steph for that. So there's going to be some tough talks this offseason. Be like, hey, Draymond, we brought you back, but this is your role.
yeah.
So
He's got to accept it. He's got to accept
he
it.
going to have to. He old dude now. So
Gray hair in
all
his
that,
beard.
yeah, all that pepper in there.
Gray hair and the beard, man. Whenever I get to the gray hair and the beard part, I'm gonna have to look at myself differently, bro. I'm enjoying the
Yeah.
just. I don't want to get
I had two or three here. I plucked them real fast.
like, nope, it's not happening.
No, not
Not
yet.
today.
Not yet. Not yet.
And now getting into James Harden's free agency options. Harden has recently declined his $35.6 million option to enter free agency. And his specific objectives are to land a 4-year contract in a team that will give him the freedom to play solid basketball. Harden is like, hey, let me play
I'm
the way I
tired.
want and just pay me.
I'm
Like, I
tired
love
of I'm tired of
I
him.
love the fact that he's just got. But in terms of obviously like the Philly run, like had a very disappointing Game 7. This is, I feel like we're just repeating ourselves. It's the same story with Harden. Like, he's just gonna go to a team where he's gonna get paid and can play the style he wants to play.
His style of play is outdated for him. He's not the same guy. He gave us one game where he scored what it was 40 points.
Yeah,
40
42,
points, I
42.
think like 42, about 8 assists. And the next game he was a dud. That style of play is for you is outdated. You have to change. And I think he's that type of player who's so stubborn. Obviously, he wants to play his style of play, who doesn't want to be a role player. And why these teams are still paying him, I do not know. He doesn't show that he can be a guy who can lead a team, who can be
Right.
a team player, who can be consistent every night, who's not going to kill your pockets.
I will
I
say
don't need
this.
to go to the fifth. Go ahead.
I
Yeah.
will say this. The Clippers are interested. What if he's the third option on that team? You got Kawhi, Paul George, and he just has to do what he does. Kawhi and Paul George are doing what they're doing, but he just has to. That's
I'm
the
so
only option. That's the
tired.
only option. But that's rare. That's gonna be a rarity.
I'm tired of Paul George. I'm tired of Kawhi Leonard. I'm tired of James Harden. I'm tired of Patrick Beverly. I am tired, bro.
Right, the whole list.
They've been in LA for what, 3 years now?
I believe so.
Hasn't showed anything for it.
The
Kawhi
first
hasn't
conference
shown
finals.
anything for it. PG hasn't showed anything for it. Them playing their style of play is not making them go to the NBA Finals. And adding James Harden is going to be worse.
You actually don't take steps
James
back.
Harden. Yeah, it's got no 5 steps back,
Yeah,
and then they're gonna shoot it from half court. That's what we gonna do. 5 steps back, step that dribble.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like a disaster. I know some people have been intrigued by the Harden and the Clippers. I'm like, that kind of sounds like a mess.
Yeah, he could do his style of play, but for how long?
Right.
Do they want to win? Like, I know he was excited getting Kawhi and Paul there, but Paul has been hurt.
Right.
Kawhi's been hurt. No support in the Cavs guys. It's just a Clippers have been terrible
since the
run. Owner.
It's been a disappointing run.
Since the owner called everybody N-word.
That's where it goes. That's where it goes, bro. That's we can all take it back to Donald Sterling.
Yes, that's when they went down.
That's when they went downhill.
That's when they went downhill, bro. They couldn't win.
The Lob City era couldn't recover.
Bro, they had everybody: Jamal Crawford, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin. I don't know. They try to blame it on Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
And they had JJ Redick.
Man,
come on.
Team was crazy.
It was insane, bro.
Loud City era.
And they had 3-point shooters and wing defenders. They had everything. Look good on paper. I don't know. They just couldn't.
Is that the ultimate on paper team? I think that's the ultimate on paper team. I really think that is.
No.
That has to be.
What Kyrie went to the Celtics.
Oh yeah, Gordon Hayward.
Bro. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kyrie, Marcus Smart, Al Horford when he was still young. They had they still had Gordon Hayward coming off the injury. Like, come on, bro. Because we said on paper they look good. We kept saying that. But yeah, them guys was definitely on paper too. They were tough, but they just couldn't figure it out. And James Harden going over there, they definitely gonna figure it out. They're gonna start talking in Mandarin. They're gonna not be on the same page. It's gonna be so much in the headlines, so many distractions.
Yeah, definitely. And now transitioning to the Lakers and Bucks free agency moves. From Milwaukee, they were able to bring back Brook Lopez and Middleton at reasonable prices. And also keeping Crowder and bringing in Beasley on the minimum were both underrated signings. And the Lakers, they brought back a lot of their core: Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura. Also added some players: Taurean Prince, Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent. And I really like what the Lakers did in terms of just staying young and kind of deciding to go with that type of core. And then the Bucks, obviously their core is vital to them, and they kind of stayed pat. Like what did you think about these two teams' free agency moves, and were there any other teams that kind of stood out to you this free agency?
So Lakers, phenomenal. Getting these young guys, getting Austin Reeves back was, I think, the biggest win. And adding Gabe Vincent. Yeah. Adding Gabe Vincent 1-2 game with even with LeBron, because I think LeBron can want to run 2 game with Vincent because he was phenomenal with the Miami Heat and also with AD. And then looking at the only thing I say that I didn't like them retaining D'Angelo Russell. I didn't like that. Yeah. I thought they could have shipped him out. They could have shipped him out. Probably got another guy. There's a lot of people still in the free agency they could have got. They could have got another big guy. Could have got a number 4 or even a number 5. For that matter, but D'Angelo Russell's so inconsistent. But I think they're saying, hey, let's see what he does for a full year. We got him at the tail end of the season. Let's see. And then they probably, if he doesn't do well, they're probably deal him away then. But I do love what the Lakers has done. They answered supporting cast bench problems. They got some 3-point shooters. They got some guys that I thought were very interesting. Cam Reddish and Taurean Prince. I think.
Yeah, the Cam Reddish signing was interesting. I wasn't
very interesting. I think he still has a decent ceiling that he hasn't touched yet. I think he's a decent wing guy, and I think he has spurts of shooting, making the big shot. Him and Prince, I think both guys are streaky and who can hit the 3-point shot, and I think that's what they were looking for. Yeah. But obviously they're going to come off the bench and play with different roles and different sets of different basketball teams. So I think that's what they were looking for. Coming off the bench, being decent wing defenders and making a big shot. I think that's all they're going to ask from them. But I do think that answers a lot of questions because they didn't have a lot of an extensive bench. They didn't. They had some guys they just threw in trying to figure out, okay, you got to step up somehow. So I think they answered a lot of questions. And then you look at what the Bucks has done, retaining Chris Middleton was, I mean, obviously is you have to with Drew Holiday. Then they
Vital.
re-signed Jay Crowder, which I thought was interesting. He really didn't. He didn't really.
Didn't really do that much. That was
Yeah,
that was
I
necessary.
didn't, I didn't understand that retaining him, but I do think them getting Chris Middleton back and Brook Lopez, I thought were great moves because they gel so well with Giannis and they
Yeah.
know what Giannis can do and what he can't do, and they pick up the slack for each other. They're a real true team, and that's how they won the NBA championship.
Yeah.
And then Malik Beasley, I don't know. I'm gonna see what that pickup looks like, but I think Jay Crowder they could have left alone. I think Malik Beasley is one of those guys we'll try to figure out as they go along. I'm indifferent about that pickup, but I think they should have let Jay Crowder go because why is he still here? Unless they got pennies on a dollar
Same way
when
we
it
thought
comes to his
about
contract.
Russell. Same way we thought about Russell with the Lakers. Like there's just certain guys you don't really have to keep around. As long as you
No,
got two or three, like you're good. But he wasn't necessary.
it makes me wonder what his contract was because it probably
Right.
was penny on a dollar. Like it
Yeah.
probably got a good contract. It was like, okay, I will keep you because we know you can do certain things probably on the back end. So I don't know, but I thought the Lakers was the best who had the best
Oh, for
moves
sure.
in
Yeah.
the free agency. I would say the Warriors, but
Not sold.
mm,
Unless, hey, light years ahead, as Bob Myers. I mean, he's no longer there, but as Bob Myers said, light years ahead. We're always thinking ahead. So
yeah,
if that small ball thing is true, they really are one of the
ahead of the
geniuses.
game. That's literally what people are already doing because nobody's drafted power forwards and centers this year. So I
Right.
think they're looking towards gearing like, okay, because I don't think Chris Paul and Draymond's going to be on the court together that long. I think
It's
they're
gonna
going
be
to like mix
split
it
at
up.
split time.
Yeah. So we'll see how that looks.
And before we move on to the album reviews, you mentioned Lillard to Boston. Like, let's say hypothetically, Lillard does end up in Boston. Like, what would you say is the East hierarchy? Like, in terms of just like, hey, these are the teams that are going to be like at the top of that food chain.
Celtics is definitely going to be the top of the food chain. Damian
Yeah.
Lillard makes them immediately
Oh, for sure.
better and gets them over the hump. Then obviously you still got the Bucks, you still got the Heat. They lost a lot of players, but I think they're still a good basketball team. A lot of guys are coming back. Heroes coming back off the hand injury. I think he'll be
Yeah.
fine. And then they'll start filling in the pieces because there's a lot of guys in the free agency that's left over that are really good players.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you still have obviously Celtics to be number one, then the Bucks, then Miami, then the 76ers. And I think that's the top four. Everybody else is kind of like, because I'm and I know we're not, but I do think what I'm looking for most this upcoming season is the Kings.
Oh yeah, the West too. Yeah, you can mention the West too. Yeah, because I am
Well,
interested.
not just I just want to like mention
Yeah.
them because that phenomenon at the second half of the season. Now you got a clean slate. What are you gonna do?
Right.
And I haven't seen them make any moves.
They've been
So
quiet. They've been really quiet.
really quiet. So I'm interested to see it. But I think hierarchy in the East, it's definitely will be the Celtics if Damian Lillard went over there, then Bucks, then the Miami, then the 76ers.
And then the West, I'm thinking like Denver, LA, Phoenix, Warriors. Is that kind of probably that mix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's
Denver gonna be
pretty good.
good for a
Yeah,
couple
Denver's gonna be
years.
in
They
that top
retain
spot for a while.
everybody but Bruce Brown. He was a good player. I think they'll replace him, but they retain everybody besides him.
Run it
It's gonna be
back.
scary.
It's just time to run it back.
It's gonna be scary. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
And after listening to our first album review with Janelle Monae's "The Age of Pleasure," in this new project, it's a high concept of Afro tourism of earlier albums, and the R&B shifter, blends Afrobeat, reggae, and laid back soul into kind of a hazily intoxicating feel of different soundscapes. What were your initial takeaways of this album? Because this was one like it did feel like a mixture of sounds. It did feel like a very groovy type of album, and it like I was saying in the description, just kind of blends a lot of different soundscapes.
Yeah, man. This was Janelle Monae has been a killer of music for a time now, even with her
Long
with
time.
back at BET dancing and all that. She's a performer. She's a great performer.
True
And her
performer.
music is her music is really dope. It's like like you said, it's a mixture of things, but it's like that, I want to call it it's a
Got
mixture of
music.
artists. It's a mixture of old school and 80s. It's a
That's a
mixture
great
of,
description.
yeah, it's like it gets you pumped, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like it's a great sound of music.
She
Like
knows when to turn it up and when to turn it down. I feel like that's that
yes.
like she's mastered that trait.
And it's funky.
Yep.
Oh, it's so funky. It's instrumental. Has it's bro. I'm stuttering. It's
It's
really
groovy.
good.
It makes
Yeah,
you
it's
like
groovy. It's
it just puts you in a mood, man. Like I love this. I love this.
like you just want to start dancing like James Brown, bro. Like it's just a funk. Like you don't hear this anymore, and it takes artists like Janelle Monae to like bring it back to the remind of what music was before this new age of music. I don't know where we're going now. I don't know who has the oar.
That's what I'm saying. Like when
I'm
we
not
are,
sure.
I'm not gonna. There's an album we're gonna talk about and a couple of ones that I don't get. I just it's just it makes you really think like, hey, can we just go back to just real music? It's just a
Excuse
request.
me.
Can we just? It's just a request. Like Janelle Monae,
Please.
I like the fact, just me personally, that this was a reminder album of like, hey, this is
Yeah.
what music can be. This is what music was just like you said, the James Brown era. It was just supposed to make in our parents' generation. It was just supposed to make you feel things. It was
Yeah.
just supposed to put you in a good mood, and that's what this album does.
Yeah, it does. Reminds you of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Gap
Yeah,
Band, all those, and then
nicely done.
Prince, like all the instruments because she played. It's just like it's funky, man. And I think we need to get back to that sound. And it takes a movement, and it's going to take the younger generation listening to the older generation, which is going to be a struggle, and it's already a struggle.
That's
And
gonna
as
be a long discussion.
and
I
as
would
we
love like a
transition,
music. I would love like a music forum, like just uh, like an interview where we have like the older artists, the current artists, and the younger artists, just like in a roundtable discussion about like where music is going. I think that would, and I'm not, and
yes,
I know it won't happen, but I'm saying like I think it would be just a great discussion. Like, well, let's just talk about where music is going and where it was.
I think because obviously we get like little bits and pieces with the show that LeBron has at the
The
barbershop or
shop,
whatever.
yeah, the shop.
The shop, they have different artists come and go and explain different things. And I
Let's
think
just do
we
just
need
artists. Yeah,
just artists, bring them together, old, new, like Rakim is still alive, Curious One is still alive. Like there's guys who were pioneers of what rap was. Like bring Method Man to the table.
yeah.
Like hip hop was a movement, a pioneer movement of a voice for black people. Now I don't know what the voice is. So I think that's an excellent idea. I don't know who needs to do it. They do all these verses, and I think Timbaland or whoever need to do
Yeah.
this like a
He's got the
documentary.
influence. He's got the influence.
Yeah. Bring Drake to the table, bring J. Cole, even Kendrick,
Yeah.
like bring these guys to the table and understand where music is going and where it
That's what I
was.
would love. I would love a big three discussion of J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. I know they would never do it, but I would love to just see those three guys together just talking.
Just
Like
to talk, bro.
I,
It'll never happen,
it'll
obviously,
never happen.
because
Yeah.
of won't happen because of Drake and Kendrick. Because
Yeah, they got settled.
J.
Shout out
Cole
to
is
you.
cool with Kendrick, and obviously Drake is cool with J. Cole. J. Cole is like the middleman out of this
Yeah, he's
this
like,
this
guys, can we
three.
just get along?
Can we just get
J. Cole's
along?
like me, like the middle shot.
Yeah, like bro, I'm just trying to understand things. We're all good at what we do.
Yeah,
Let's call but yeah,
definitely.
and I would love to like have a verses for old school music and new music. Like
That would be
put
fire.
like a random rapper now against like the old school rappers.
Mhm.
Like I think that would be dope and just lining music up. And I don't know if it will align perfectly well, but just I don't know. I thought that would be a good idea. But yeah, them sitting down and talking about where music is going and the influences of music.
This is what me
I
and
think it
Savon
would
do. We're
be.
just brainstorming. This is it just happened.
I wish we had the connections to do this.
Yeah, for real.
For real, that would be super dope. You have to document that. You have to do
Yes.
a documentary on it. It has to be a long thing, long drawn out, thoughtful movement because it has to have
Like
a
Questlove, he
purpose.
had a documentary last year, like summer. So
Yes.
I like even like somebody like him. he just documenting music, and I wish like more
Yes.
artists, because Questlove is a very creative guy. Like putting
Mm-hmm.
together a documentary, that's something I have big admiration for. So just documenting something like that and then bringing it to the forefront on Hulu, it's just a smart move.
I'm gonna add him on like Twitter or something. See if he like, hey bro, I got a great idea. You should, yeah, and just ask
I would
him.
do it because he seems like a very open.
Yeah,
He honestly seems like an open-minded guy. Like on his podcast, he's like, "Yo, listeners, like if you want to say something, just DM me or something." You know, he's just a very like open man.
really. I'm gonna DM him. I'm gonna see, and then I'm like, just make sure you give me credit. Make sure you do a full scope
Full
podcast
scope.
credit, Cole.
So there's this podcast called Full Scope. And now getting to our next review with the Alchemist, Flying High. In this new solo EP showcases are already hand claps for our guy, who never lets us down.
Never, never.
But in this new solo EP, he showcases just a small but a solid glimpse of his abilities as a producer. Even with the opener, R.I.P. Tracy just had a unique front as well, and he had collaborators such as Earl Sweatshirt, Bodie James, Larry June. Like to me, even though this was extremely short, it almost seems like just the right amount of what you need from the Alchemist, because it's like he can encompass a lot into a small portion. Some artists they don't know how to just like be brief, be concise, get to the point. He can do that so well and bring together so many forces. This was just a smooth listen. It's good music. It's good hip hop. It checks all the boxes. This is what the Alchemist does.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nah, from man, yeah, this was like, bro. That's why I like him so much because
Yeah.
he could go in any pocket, and I think for this, obviously for this one, he stuck to like real true hip hop,
Mhm.
and it gave me a new perspective of Larry June too, that he could adhere to true hip hop. And I think his voice was made for true hip hop. And I think, yeah, and he kind of obviously you make your own sound, but I think if he was just to be like a guy who just rapped on boom paps or whatever, I think it would be even more. Now he probably won't be even more popular
It's still
because that's
taking you
why he.
time to warm up to Larry June. I can tell. You want to give him a chance, but like,
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like redundant when his stuff. I mean,
I
but
still
it's
like the
not.
album, the album him and Alchemist put out earlier this year, man. I
I
still
did
like
not
it.
like it. I did not like it. It was
Now I will say
redundant.
this:
His
I
voice.
know what I know. If you just heard that album as an instrumental, you'd be like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever."
The beat production was crazy.
Yeah,
It was certain songs that were really really good at him rapping on it, and like him giving his style of music on it. It was just like after a while, it's like I'm hearing the same thing. Like it's like your voice. It's like he does not change.
yeah,
He's so like
monotone.
consistent with it.
Mhm.
Switch it up. Go this way. Like give me a fish. Like
Really laid back. You know how we say like with Jack Harlow, we don't hear that urgency. It's like so many times, like because like even on his last album, Jackman, there were some really good soulful beats, but at times he just was just still like, I'm just still laid back. I'm just chilling. It's like it wasn't
I'm
like
just
that
a
intensity. You know what I mean? Like just going
I'm just a
after
Jewish kid.
it.
I'm from Kentucky. Derby.
Derby.
Nah, man. Yeah, it's you gotta your voice is an instrument. You have to figure out because even with me rapping, I have to change my voice for certain beats to add. It's because it's literally your voice is an instrument to the production. You're just
Right.
adding to the production, so you have to hear and listen. That's how we get the great melodies from all these rappers and singers. But you have to change it up. You have to go with the beat. You have to be the beat. And with Larry June and Jack Harlow, it seems like they never want to switch up. They never want to add that extra element that'll make the song even better.
Right.
And sometimes you get saved by a good hook, somebody singing the hook for you or something. And in Jack Harlow's case, he's been saved a couple times by some good hooks. Cause
He
what's
has.
popping? And
Yeah.
then nothing. That's an
He can match with the
incredible
hooks.
hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Definitely match with
credible hook. But his verses, yeah, yeah.
the hooks. Not much. And I will say this: the I enjoyed the fact that he was able to address different topics in the last project But I think what was missing was the fact that, hey, can you can the voice change? That's really what it was for me. You're
And that's
addressing things,
excuse
but
me.
it's just like if that voice is the same, like on beats that are asking you to do something different, that's when it just becomes like, hey, what are we really listening to? It just sounds stagnant.
Yeah, and that comes with cadence. All the people that we give flowers and props to take Nas. Nas know when to switch it up. Nas know when to change his voice to get lower, get higher, pitch changes, cadence. That it, that what makes a good rapper, a good MC. Like
Right.
those are characteristics of that. Even Jadakiss voice is so raspy, but he knows how to change it up, how to get new melodies out his voice. Who else got a crazy voice? Rakim had a
Oh, for
crazy
sure.
deep voice,
Yeah.
but he knew how to rock it. He knew how to change the cadence. He knew how to bring more out of his voice. So it goes into it. If you want to be a rapper, this is day and age, man. Nobody care about the characteristics of being a good rapper. See, back in my day, brother.
Back in my day. Man.
That's why this
Fiber,
table talk is needed, man.
it is. It's highly needed. And now getting to our next album review with Lil Uzi Vert's Pink Tape. In this new album, man, Savon's face, man. I gotta catch that.
Uh,
Man, this was I was joking about it last week about like how the Alchemist was dropping, and then I said, hey, listeners, Savon's gonna be listening to the Alchemist, not Lil Uzi Vert, because this is just it's one of those albums. Rage music, as they call it, has never been something I've been interested in. Um, Random, confluences of sound. It just doesn't have. And I'm not trying to say that he's not talented, but to me, it doesn't work for me in terms of just like what's appealing to listen to. And 26 songs of this as well. This was the first time it was like really hard for me to like get through an entire album. Like I didn't even want to finish it. I was just like, hey, like, is there any way I can just like speed this up? Just hear something else, hear a feature. But bro, this didn't do it for me. What were your thoughts?
why do you have bonus tracks
That's
on
what I was.
an album that's already 50 songs long?
I was like, Uzi, we don't need any more.
Damn. Bro, this was an abomination. I
Why was
wasted
this released? Why was this even released?
because of that one song, and I don't even know what
Just
it
want to
the
rock.
one
Just want to rock.
yeah, the rock. Like, bro, that don't mean make more songs like it.
And then he
This
said,
was
if this goes number one, I'm gonna drop another album. I'm like, Uzi, please don't drop anything else.
for years to come. For this is gonna keep us occupied
We got
for
26 of
10
these. We're
years.
good.
Yeah. And you gave us bonuses. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. This
Man,
I have nothing good to say about this.
it was not good.
Because like you said, he's talented.
Yeah, talented doesn't always mean we gotta listen.
Put that on a t-shirt, brother. Put it on a hat. Put it on a wristwatch. Cause bro, this is 26 songs. I skipped some. I went to either with the Don Tolliver song. Trash.
Still trash. I like that's what I really knew the album had no and I know there's some I'm seeing a lot of people out there that do like it. I don't.
They
I'm just saying from my standpoint. When I heard the Don Tolliver feature didn't even work, that's when I knew like there's no hope for this album.
man, they are so loyal. I don't even call it loyalty because I'm realistic when it comes to music. Even I'm a huge Drake fan, and I'll use myself as an example always. Huge Drake fan. But when Drake drops some crap, I'm going to say it's crap. This is not good. And I'm not going to double back because I still don't like that one album when he was all this singing, dancing. Don't like that one. I do not like all the songs when he did the collaboration with 21. The last song he dropped, I was definitely not messing with that. So I'm realistic. These guys are
He's gotta
on
wait for all the
dope.
dogs. He's gotta wait for all the dogs. He's gotta wait for
Why
all
are
the
you
dogs.
saying like that? Why are you saying like that? So I'm like, you just say what all the dogs. You just say what all the dogs. I hope this is good. I hope it's good. I
Yeah,
hope it's really good. I hope he's going back to the roots. Because he
that's
said
what he said.
they say they miss me. They
Yeah,
miss the
old
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 Drake.
R&B Drake. There should be a lot of R&B on this one. So
Hopefully.
yeah,
I think yeah. But not,
I
not to get a
I like
twist.
R&B Drake. I like R&B Drake. I like the the jungle,
Uh-huh.
the
Yes.
jaded, the feel no ways. Feel no ways is incredible.
Yes.
I like
Oh
if he
my
goes back to that, I would love
gosh.
that. Feel no ways is incredible, bro. That's an incredible song.
Incredible song, man. Incredible song. That's what I'm
Trying to
saying.
make me feel away
Views,
on purpose. Oh gosh, bro, come on, that's too relatable.
bro.
Nah,
Even Redemption, like Redemption was crazy. Like Drake is so freaking talented, bro.
it's
It's
ridiculous. It's not even
insane.
fair.
And he can't sing for real, and it works. I don't understand.
How has
I
he been able
I
to do that for this long? Shot for
I
me. Come on now.
bro, fire song. Take a shot for me.
Oh
Oh,
my
like,
goodness.
bro, you really not singing good. And I pay it. I really listen to the production and how he's singing. I'm like, bro, they really produced the crap out of this because he really cannot
Noel and
sing.
40 are saving your life. They're going crazy.
Crazy, like doing it wrong, bro.
Yep.
When a good thing goes bad, it's not the end of a world. Bro, it's like you really not singing, but the worst. But yeah,
It sounds so fire. Yeah.
Drake is Drake, man.
R&B Drake is awesome.
Yeah. So if you're gonna come like that for all the dogs, even like rapping, like you do dance hall, like they say Drake has a formula. So we're gonna get Houston,
Sounds good.
we're gonna get dance hall, we're gonna get R&B, and we're gonna get some bars. I love it.
Sign me up. Sign me up for
Hey,
it.
sign me up.
We're still good with it.
Yes, no hesitation.
Definitely. And now just to our next album review with Moonchild Starfruit. This is the fifth album from the LA trio, and it showcases the respect, musical understanding that they have for each other. And there's just beautiful melodies and personal lyrics in here. This is just such a good feel overall in this album. The production, just the band elements, like a true band. Honestly, I mean, like I would love to. I don't know if they've done a Tiny Desk or something like that. I think that would be
They
incredible.
have.
Just they have. Oh,
Yeah, they
I'm
have.
gonna check it. I'm gonna check it out because they just have so much chemistry, man. And this was another great body of work.
Oh, yes. Oh, Moonchild is her voice is so amazing. And it's to stay up there for that long for many songs, and it's insane. And bro, they can play any instrument, make anything sound funky. Even with rap, with what's the rapper? Yeah, Love I Need with Rhapsody.
Oh,
Fire
yeah,
song. They
amazing
dropped that as a single. Fire song. Like
single song
it's
too.
yeah. Oh, definitely a single song. Definitely a single song. So listen to their music is really dope because I love instruments. I love hearing saxophones. I love hearing guitars, drums. So you get all those elements of that as well as good music, good lyrics, and they're so versatile. It's not going to sound the same, and you're not going to get tired of it. You're going to want more because I still listen to all the other albums
Oh yeah,
faithfully. Because if you want to vibe out, you got it. If you
listen
just
to it.
want to like if you want to like get up and like dance, you're gonna get that from them. You're gonna get everything you need from this music. Moonchild is stamped approved. Funky.
How good was their Tiny Desk from 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
Yeah.
I think I'll give it a 7 because how
Okay.
she sings, it's live without the other like mixing and mastering.
I see.
It sounds the same, but it sounds like she's straining a little bit
Okay.
because she's high up there.
Yeah.
She's really high, but I do think it was really good. I do think it was live is really good. But I give it a 7. I won't give it anything above that, being realistic. But I think you'll still enjoy it.
And now getting to our next review, a throwback review with Party Next Door self-titled album Party Next Door. And this debut project, there's just so much melodic finesse with the wordplay of a rapper. It has production similar to Take Care in certain aspects. Going back to this project was like uh, uh, really a time capsule because this was just he was just in his pocket the entire project, in his element. This was just like, oh, like this is timeless music, man. Like I want to hear this party again. But I mean, overall, what did you think? Because they recently had the 10-year anniversary for it. Everybody loved this project. It's one that just takes you back to a certain time and still sounds fresh today.
You, yeah, man. You realize he was the GOAT back then too. Party, man, Party is so great at what he does because he can't sing either. Just being honest.
Another guy.
But he knows how to write first and foremost, and he knows how to ping things together and create pockets inside the and put things in those pockets when to do things. It's like how he constructs his songs is really, I think, strategic because he's not like this extreme vocalist. It's sometimes muddy the waters of being a rapper and then some being R&B. So he's straddling the line a lot in his music, but it's so melodic and it's so the production is so crazy and it's so different that you just gravitate to it. And he's been doing that for a long time. I think I became a fan of the one album we had Recognize on.
Oh yeah.
And then you go back and you listen to the older music. I think no. I became a fan of I'm tripping. Wellington.
What happened?
I'm thinking of the Road Project. I'm thinking of it as one of his mixtapes. Party Next Door. This album was so crazy. Now let me retract what I was saying. Bro, this is so crazy. First of all, how do you sample Break from Toronto? That's simple. No, that's not that. And that's then what's good? Curious, bro. This album is so fire, bro, from beginning to end. And then when you get Over Here and Drake just kill it, balling, yeah. This is when I became a fan. Okay, this is exactly when I became a fan of Party Next Door. This was extreme incredible. And again, he's not really singing crazy. He's straddling the line of being a rapper and an R&B guy, but his production is so crazy and his writing ability is so crazy. And I mean, you just can't deny that, man. And he gets better every time he drops an album. After he dropped this, he dropped Party Next Door 2, which was 10,000 times better.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I don't skip a song. I don't start skipping
zone.
Bro,
he was in a different zone.
I don't start skipping songs until he gets to Party Mobile. Party Mobile. That's when I started skipping songs. That's
2020.
Yes. Yeah. So if that's really
that's
good.
A crazy run.
That's a crazy run to be able to I don't skip any song. I just let it play. Yep. He's really good, versatile, but this album really put him on the map. And I think this was started his writing career too, writing for other people.
Yeah. He's a really good writer.
Yes, excellent writer.
He's dropping a single tonight, Resentment.
I saw that. I'm interested.
After that last one, we're not feeling that last one.
I don't know where he at. He need to break somebody's heart or get his heart broken. Because he says that he's like, I don't get in the studio unless something happens. I need some type of motivation. Situation. So I hope he got his heart broken. That's terrible to say, but we get great music.
Really is. We need good art.
It's been a while, man.
Mahalia is dropping her album next Friday.
I saw that too. I'm interested in that one too.
He's dropping Utopia sometime this month. Post Malone is dropping his album 28.
Oh, Posty's off the drugs. He's dropping.
Bro, he's coming back again. He's coming back again. He dropped one last year. He's coming back again. Like, is there any upcoming music, either from those artists or any other artists that you're kind of looking forward to coming up?
No, not really. Not really. I think I'm satisfied this year, to be honest with you, man.
It's been a good year. Oh, Currency just dropped something last week that we got to review for next week with Harry Fraud. Yes, called Vices. It's a 9-song album.
Oh, because everybody's been talking about him and Freddie Gibbs not beefing, but not wanted to work together. He said Freddie Gibbs said that Currency crapped on their collab album. I guess I don't know. Interesting,
Man,
but yeah,
they had a collab album. My goodness.
yeah, they had a collab album.
Wow. Bro,
They said it was pretty good.
Currency to me, man, he's climbing the ranks, like we said. I like what he did on the Jermaine Dupri project and feature wise as well. The Killer Mike, I
Yeah,
think he can work well on features also. He's just very versatile MC.
Currency been on the radar for a long time, and he's not your everyday music. I think he falls under the category with Big Crit because a lot of people don't listen to Big Crit all the time. I think that Southern, because Currency's from I think New Orleans,
Yeah.
and he has that Southern slow, like vibed out car ride music that people don't listen to all the time, but he's a vibe. Big Crit is the same way. He got that
Yeah.
Southern, but he can give you in live concert. Big Crit is amazing,
Mm.
and them guys are really slept on. I think Currency, if given the opportunity to get in the spotlight, I think people will rock with him because he has
For
a good
sure.
sound of music, real
Just
good
need
sound
that
of music.
spotlight.
Yeah.
Cecily, Savon did say I haven't forgotten the Cecily album. That's the one I'm looking forward to. That's the one I'm
Yes.
looking
Okay.
forward to.
I forgot about that. Yes. I'm waiting to see
She's
what
been a
she
little
brings
quiet.
to
She's been
the.
a little quiet
Yeah.
recently, but I hope she puts something together.
I hope it's a good quiet, not like
Yeah,
I'm
not
taking
not just like the
sabbatical.
I'm
Yeah.
done.
Like, oh, I'm cooking right now, so I'm really
Yes,
quiet because
because all those singles have been
yeah,
nice.
she's been nice. I need a full on project about something. Has to be creative. Don't give us the same R&B thing that everybody give us. Be creative.
I will never forget the first time I played the song. That's, or we reviewed that song. You're like, I thought this was a gospel single.
I did. I did. I really did. I really did. And
Yeah.
she blew me away, man. Every single she's dropped, I've been a real big fan of that. It's in rotation.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with our rate review.